Hey, what is up guys, GuitarRock here, welcome back to another Brown Dust 2 video. So let's talk about what's happening right now in terms of the Powder of Hope. I'm a bit late to this particular new season, but if you guys are not aware, we got a White Bolt Yuri available right here. Still, alright, if you guys are interested to get her, she's going to be an option, but I would say she's not going to be that crucial or that meta. So we're going to jump into the Powder of Hope session specifically. Alright, so let's talk about what's happening right here. So Dark Saintess Liberta, Angel of Destruction Teresse, Thorn of Desert Rubia, and of course Bikini Agent Sylvia. So plenty of characters available right here. Who is going to be the most important character in the game? Right now it is going to be her, Dark Saintess, Liberta right here. So Liberta is going to be crucial and very important if you're trying to build a physical DPS character, right? So if you're looking for that, then definitely that's going to be what you're looking for. So specifically right now, if you haven't already obtained her to +5, so she's going to be a very important one to try to get that to max. Alright, keep in mind that at +3, right? I mean, actually not +3, at none of her what is this? At +1 is going to be her stopping point for the SP, but you want to go even more because all of these boosts are going to be very important, right? So attack 65%, 80%, and then this one is going to be crit rate. I would say +5, alright? It is going to give you the attack percent boost, right? That's going to be very important, right? The thing that you don't want to miss out on her is going to be this particular one. So if you are going to build a physical team, she is pretty much crucial. Especially for those of you who has the other two costume, this is going to add up to quite a lot, right? So I would say that's going to be something that you have to definitely consider, right? Moving forward. Now the truth is, right? Can you get away with not building physical at all? In my opinion, right now, even in the last night boss, Liberta is going to be the most important character, and I think physical is going to be the meta moving forward. Now, if you are looking to get as a second priority, let's say you already +5 her, right? Who should you get right now between the other three? In my opinion, it's going to be the Angel of Destruction Teresse. Now, Teresse is going to be a support character, but she's also very crucial and very important for a lot of end game or end game players or end gear players, right? So where she lies is going to be specifically in her ability to do quite a number of these things right here, alright? And also, since she is very important, very crucial, and she's used a lot, right? In a lot of situations, I would say this is going to be a very worthwhile costume to get. But, alright, very important thing, right? If you are a new player, let's say, right, you don't have this costume, you don't have this costume. By the way, this is going to be the prestige skin for her swimsuit one, right? So I understand that the swimsuit one is going to be limited, right? So you cannot get it for the time being. You have to wait for the rerun, right? Some of you guys, maybe you miss out on that. So if you miss out on this particular one and you have this one, how important is this particular one? I would say it's quite important still, so that you can rotate between these two. It is going to be 5 turn, this one is going to be 3 turn. You're going to have 1 dead turn of not being able to do anything. So a Teresse, in most cases, if you only got the one of the other two costumes, then that makes this costume less effective as a whole, right? That means you might as well not use her and use someone else. The truth is, right now, supporters, right? Like I mentioned, Liberta is going to be very important for physical. Then we got Helena and Grenadier. You might as well slot in either Lethal, or you can slot in Diana for the physical team to basically do that thing, right? Or Refitia, right? You don't really need Teresse as a whole. I would say she's still very important. She's still very crucial if you're looking for a healing, right? And in a lot of Fiend Hunter, in a lot of guild raids bosses, you guys are aware, right? When you fight against the top end, like level 9, level 10, right? You are going to need a bit of healing, and that's where this particular one comes in. I would say out of the 3 costume, this one is probably going to be her most important one. Now this one is also important, but it really depends. Now keep in mind that swimsuit Teresse, or Teresse in general, right? A lot of people always ask me, hey, do you have any advice on team building specifically, right? Now, one thing that you have to note about Teresse is she doesn't synergize well with Liberta, alright? Liberta is not going to be a good character that she pairs with. She's also not good with Refitia as a whole. Now, why is that, right? Primarily because of the swimsuit Teresse, right? Because she has this particular thing that gives augmentation, alright? Increased damage dealt by 200%, but you can see the condition is the chain count has to be 5 or less, right? But Liberta has this particular costume, right? If you guys are not aware, this particular one, right, she does increased damage dealt to enemies with 10 chain or more. So you can see like both of these are like contradicting or conflicting with each other, right? One need 5 chain or less to do more damage, 160% or 200% right here. The other one is going to need 10 chain or more, so it's like you can't really synergize them together, right? Teresse pairs well with Diana. She pairs well with, she doesn't pair well with Refitia as well, because Refitia has one costume, the Bright Refitia, that gives more chain reinforcement, right? So ideally with more chain, you want to like go the other route, right? That's why Liberta and Refitia is usually used together compared to Teresse. Teresse either go with Helena, or she can go with Grenadier, or she can go with, what's the name? Diana in that particular case. So that's going to be ideally what you want to pay attention to, right? So specifically, there are going to be some exception. I think the exception is like right now in the return season of the Fiend Hunter, where Teresse is sort of needed for healing, right? But anyways, back to the topic in question, this particular one, right? So you can see, she is going to give you back the SP. Very, very useful. One of the few characters in the game that can give you that, right? Liberta can do that. Teresse can do that. Refitia can do that. And of course, the only character that can do that is going to be Diana. Maybe she'll have one more costume in the future. I'm not sure, right? But for now, those are going to be the important ones. So ideally, yes, you should get this particular one. This should be your second priority, right? No questions asked. First one is Liberta, second one is Teresse. So what about the other two then? Now we got Rubia, we got Sylvia, all right? Which one should you approach? How would you, approach this in terms of the character specifications? And because they are both of different role, right? Rubia is going to be much more of a DOT character. And in fact, you're probably going to use her for fire specifically, whereas Sylvia is going to be a water character, or a water DPS character, and she's going to belong in the water DPS category. Now, the first rule of thumb that I'll be looking at is going to be, look at your roster, all right, in terms of fire, in terms of also water. Which one are you lacking in, right? So a bunch of us, I don't know about you guys, but if you guys did pull for Mamone, all right, you can maybe get away with not having Sylvia. All right, Sylvia is her role. She's still very good, right? If you're trying to do like a multiple teams, she gives you the flexibility. But right now, Darian has taken the slot as the best DPS, all right, in terms of physical water. Darian is going to be there. Now, unfortunately, Darian has two costumes, and one of the costume is also limited, right? So there was the Christmas one, the Bunny Darian. Unfortunately, so if you don't get that one, you only have one Darian. It is going to be quite difficult as well, right? So that's something that you have to like pick carefully. In my opinion, if you have to choose between Darian and Sylvia, I would recommend leaning towards Darian. Usefulness of her is going to be higher, plus she's cheaper, right? Sylvia has 4 costumes. And you sort of need quite a number of these costumes to work, right? You need this particular one specifically, because this one is usually to give her the boost of increasing her attack by 225%. And then you basically rotate to this particular one to extend the duration of buffs. Very, very good. Alright, it has big range as well. And then you go to the Admiral Sylvia. And then depending on the enemy, if the enemy has counter, then you're going to try to use, or if the enemy has multi-hit rather, right? Then you try to apply the counter. So that's going to be where this particular one comes in. Now, obviously, all of these costumes are going to be very important and sort of needed to a certain extent. Now, if you are a low spender, free to play, there's a chance that you can get away with not having this particular one, the counter one, right? You can basically get this one, the swimsuit one, this particular one to buff herself, and the Emerald Sylvia. So you have enough for rotation, right? So it will be quite friendly enough for you to be able to rotate between these three. So there's no dead space in between, right? So that will be something to figure out. As for Rubia, this particular costume specifically is going to be her DPS costume. It complements the swimsuit one, the bikini one. This one is going to be the one that gives her DOT, or gives the enemy DOT vulnerability, right? So you have these two costumes that complements each other, right? Obviously, before you get this one, right, the current one in this particular one, you want to get this one as well, right? So these are going to be the requirements to make Sylvia work. So ideally, so choose accordingly based on who you have. Usually Sylvia pairs well with Leatrice as well. And right now in the current banner, we do have the Senran Kagura Ikaruga, right? So if you guys got her as well, that will also be one of the options that players could use, right? So there we go. There is going to be what it is in terms of the priority. All right, get Liberta first as the top priority, +5 her. After that, go for Teresse. And then for Rubia and Sylvia, they are going to be of lesser priority. Ideally, that's going to be how generally this thing goes. As for DPS characters, it is going to be always leaning that way. There are going to be some exceptions, right? Sacred Justia, in my opinion, is one of the few exceptions that she's very, very strong. She only has one costume, so beginner friendly, she's so free to play friendly that you only need to focus on her one and you want to get her to as high as possible, right? But the rest of these costumes, especially for the older ones, it can be really expensive, right? If you want to build multiple of them. So yeah, that's going to be it for this particular video. Subscribe if you guys are ready, give this video a like if you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. You can get a Ru as well. This one is okay if you have been using Ru a lot. But yeah, have a nice day. Goodbye.